I think the problem we also have as a country is that we don't love the country. I'm telling you, some of the things that I do, for example, like I said about the traffic light and blocking that lady, I was running late to where I needed to be, but it was from a place of love. We are spoiling this country, sir. We are spoiling this country. Let's leave the politicians first. We, on our own, we are spoiling the country. We are spoiling the country. Everybody is cutting corners. Nobody is saying the truth. I had an issue with road safety some time ago. They were trying to give me an inflated bill. They wanted to charge me 90K for something that is spelled out that the offense is 3K.
Extortion.
If you don't have fire extinguisher in your car, that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's the price. That's what you're supposed to do. They're supposed to give you a ticket, a fine of 3,000 naira. That's what you're supposed to pay. At their own little corner, they still want to bypass. A person that is doing along that's supposed to be 1,000 naira, all of a sudden he notices that it's getting dark. Rain is falling. He will tell you it's 3,500. He has seen that you are desperate.
You are desperate.
Come on now. So you see that even we ourselves as a people, we have not even started playing our role.
We have not started playing our role. To be honest with you, we have not started. There was this country I've forgotten and read about that. The way that country is so neat, right? Like, you can't even find any trash on the road. Everybody is genuine about that country. Like, you can't just go ahead and be littering because you will pay fine.
Yes.
See Dubai, the way they are creating everything now about security now. Even every Uber that you enter, there's a camera inside. They are monitoring you. They are purposeful. They are deliberate. So the engagements, really, to be honest, starts with us. If we can take those little steps, right? First, look at government chairman will have less work to do. The governor will have less work to do.
Thank you.
The president lesser work to do. The only thing he will just be concerned
is a supervisory role, make sure
it's a supervisory role. You just preside over okay, and then you deal with international bodies too and all of those things. So I guess it's high time we all take roles. But what will you say to someone who say, Alpha, I actually have this country in mind. I love the country genuinely. But in a bit to take responsibility, those little responsibilities we've talked about, everything eventually bounces back on your head. Maybe as a result of, you really want to, they want to sabotage some amount of money for, something, a fund is coming in and then it starts to channel. And then your way of, you don't have a say, you are not the leader. Do you get what I'm saying, right? Somebody trying to do something that is right, you get fired from it, number one. If you are not fired from it, you create enmity among others. They won't reason you well. If an opportunity is coming, they might not even channel it to your web. Your whole organ self, you get the way where they rechannel the package. And then you want to be there as a good citizen, as a good Nigerian. How do people like that survive in such kind of environment? And there is no power in your hands. If you are the boss now, at least you can command some things. But you are just a staff. Be responsible at whatever duty they give to you. So all of these little things are going on. And if you don't compromise sometimes, right? I'm sure I'm speaking for someone over there. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? So what do you do in this kind of scenarios?
Okay, in 2022, I worked with a government parastatal. I won't mention their names. And for the period of my assignment there, I had to come like I was working like a full-time staff. So everything that happens to a full-time staff was obtainable. I will have to sign in when I come, and that's exactly where I'm going to. So every time I come, I sign in my time. Now, first of all, I was always the first to come. So it was not really an issue. If I come, I just sign in my time. I didn't really know. I won't say I didn't really know, but I didn't pay attention to the fact that people were always changing. Somebody will come by 8, they'll sign 7, all of those little things. Until one day I came late. And of course, as I came, there were also people behind me. I came something around 9. Of course, I'd already sent an email, as it should be, that, I'm coming in late, something has happened and all of those things. And I was just about to sign, and the person said, the last person to sign had signed about 8 o'clock, like some minutes past 8. This was already after 9. They said, I should just sign 8:30 so that every other person can enter before 9. I said, sorry, sir. Don't be angry. And I was the youngest person in the entire office. I said, please don't be angry. I can't do that. He said, no. Wait. I said, please, let me just sign my thing and go. So I signed. As I signed, of course, number 8 cannot be 9:30 and number 9 is 8:14.
How far I take up now?
Do you understand? So after that happened, come and see war. When I come, normally if you have been, you have worked with any government parastatal, when you come in the morning, so that you're late, you shake your people, It was as if I had HIV. Or Ebola or something that people could contact. That was the reaction I got. And at a point, it took me some time for me to even, because it developed over time. I was like, where did this come from? And then it just dawned on me that was what happened. So I'm sharing this story because it does happen that way, whereby you're trying to fight for the right thing.
You can relate.
Yes, I can relate with things like that's not even the only. There was a particular document I was supposed to sign. I refused to sign it. Eventually, somebody else signed, and because of that, I lost out on a lot. In fact, when we got the deal, what I was supposed to sign was an inflated figure, and I refused to sign it. Eventually, someone signed it. Someone who had the authority signed it. When we did the job, I eventually was part of the job. They didn't even pay me what I'm supposed to get. Talk less of, the extras on top and all those things. So we see all those things, and there's no way you want to change a system that there won't be reaction. They always say that if you try to bend a crayfish when it's dry, it will break.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So there will always be that reaction. Nobody wants to break.
Yeah.
However, you have to get to a point, and it's from within. And I was speaking with you last time, and I was telling you about the law of inertia, external force, and all those things. Your conviction needs to come from within. You need to get to a place where, and if we don't even get to that place, we can't even still change the country as individuals, where you agree that this is wrong and you abide by it. Permit me, I hope I've not been saying too much scripture, but if you look at Joseph in the Bible, for example, Joseph had the opportunity to cut corners.
Definitely.
Sleeping with Potiphar's wife was a way to cut corners to become the Oga, apart from the pleasures he will have gotten and all those things. But look at his response. How can I do this wicked thing? It must begin to become our response. How can I? You are not first thinking about, what if I don't? What if this? What if she accuses me falsely? What if this happens? That's not your first reaction. Your first reaction is now, how can I? Look at traffic light. How can I? You want to throw something out of the car. How can I do this wicked thing? So we need to re-engineer ourselves. Everybody gets to a place where from within you start judging yourself. It's also a conscience problem. If your conscience is alive and you want to sleep well at night, some things you won't be able to do. So we must just get to that place where okay, let me just say this. I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was telling her that we have gotten to a place in this part of the world where we only think about survival. My next daily bread, how can I build a house? How can I buy a car? How can I, that's all we think about. When that is all you think about, you will cut corners. When you are just thinking about your next pay. So we must also now begin to think about the country. I tell this to my classmates. My grandchildren will ask me questions. And I must be able to look them in the eye and tell them and not be lying to myself that I did everything possible. We may not all be opportune to get to public office. But we all cross the road. We all work in offices. You must tell yourself that I will look at my children in the eye, look at my grandchildren in the eye, and say, Kai, this country is good because I played a part. Or this country is bad, but my hand is not there. So, how many of us think about posterity? We don't. In the Western world, posterity is all. That's why you see a man, all the money in the world is just trying to secure a good name. But here, we trade our name, trade reputation for the next 20K or the next $2,000 or the next $50,000. You know, so we must just get to that place to respond to your question where we are internally driven to do what is right, irrespective of the consequence. Somebody said we are not angry enough, and it's true. During the EndSARS crisis, 2020, right? It was 2020. During the EndSARS crisis, somebody said when the people were trying to fight and all those things and protest, especially at the Lekki toll gate, all the things that happened.
October 20.
Eventually, those things did happen. But even before that day, somebody was saying that once somebody just hears something like knockout, everybody. Once you say everybody, I'm not saying don't fight for your life, right? But can we just get to a place where we are like, Kai, I love this country. Anything we want happen, make it happen. As far as what I want to do is right. So that's just, I think, it's a place where everybody needs to get to. It's an individual.
It's a place where, yes, and I think I agree with you, right? That it's still an individual role. And you have to be intentional. If you have not come to that realization that this is where I'm born, do you understand? And then I have to just defend it anyhow possible. Just be carried. If you have that obsession in you, But it's a risky game sometimes, especially when you have tons of people who compromise, who are not for you. Do you understand? It becomes more difficult.
Yeah.
However, I think platforms like this, or platforms, or wherever it is that we can see things like this, we should keep on saying it. If you have this follower, if you have this person following that same pattern, this one is doing, everything will become right at a point. And then I think I will also contribute to it that if we are also finding ourselves in a position where we lead, that action starts from us.
Yes.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. That action, we are talking about, okay, you're just probably an ordinary staff or somebody just working. You are under a leadership. You understand? It becomes more difficult.
Yeah.
But now you are even the leader. Do you understand? You are the one in control of this thing. So see the new, is it AIG or police this thing now? See the way he's taking, like Alpha, this thing is this is the way, is the leader then. And to be honest with you, you will be there when things are not going well. Do you understand? You see the person who faced the FCT minister, that soldier then.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So see those kind of things, a lot of people will have compromised. Do you understand? No, sir, I'm not a fool. I'm not a fool, sir. This is the right thing, sir. This is how I'm supposed to do it, sir. I'm working on that. Do you understand those kind of things? So if you are a leader, you have the opportunity, you have the beautiful part. You understand? Christians will say it that if it might be difficult sometimes taking the gospel to a stranger. But if that stranger, you are helping that stranger in your car, if you don't win that soul, because that person is in your car, you are the one, you are the driver.
I just think that you said just took me back to secondary school. I had a friend, I'm going to mention his name. His name is Musa Obed, somebody I respect so much. Musa had a circle of friends, right? So I like to think that was part of that circle. We do things together, work together, at least little things, go to class together, read together, gist together, stuff like that. If you are walking around Musa, you can't drop anything on the floor.
In secondary school?
Yes. Wow. Musa Obed.
Wow.
You can't drop anything on the floor unless you are not around him.
So how do you
I'm telling you, once you do it, bros, abeg, no vex.
He will tell you.
Abeg, help me pick that.
What if he's a teacher?
No, I'm talking about his friends.
His friends. Oh.
So you were saying something about at least within your circle of influence.
Yes, influence.
You can't be around Musa. And so now we were at SS2, SS3. Now imagine somebody in GS1. The guy was, I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? So it's at that level, even I personally, I didn't used to see it as a big deal. I'm just being honest. Let me just be honest. Up until that point in my life, I didn't see it as a big deal because, you know, I grew up in Port Harcourt. You know, I remember one day we were driving, somebody threw Pampers.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you. Pampers.
Newly.
Not
New
somebody threw Pampers out of the car.
Whoa!
So, I mean, growing up around those things, you know, but Musa, staying around him, you know, I just began to know that, Kai, it's true, this thing is not right. So, first of all, personally, I don't drop things. And then I started influencing it to people around me. Guy, pick that thing up. I mean, somebody's walking from here to here. This is where the trash can is. You are here. You just finish eating something, you just drop it here. What? You know.
Even though someone will have to assist you, please can you help me draw?
I mean, some of them, there are some things that you can even put in your pocket if there's no waste, if you are truly intentional
Actually.
about it. And, you know, it still boils down to intentionality, ownership. So I heard somebody make a statement one day where I was in the restroom washing my hand. It's still in secondary school. I went to a boarding school, so all manners of things. This guy finished using the toilet and he left, and somebody was passing, and it's like he looked inside. He said, "Bro, if this is your toilet in your room, can you do this?"
Faced him and
the guy, he tried to say, you know, but eventually, that's all the person said, and he left. Eventually, I saw him get a bucket of water and clean it.
If it's reasonable, we'll never forget
Do you get it? Do you get it? So it's all of us.
Yeah. And do you know when I didn't grow up throwing things in a very okay way? Do you understand? Like you dispose waste in a proper way. You just dispose anyhow. But I will mention Fela Drutwe when he was campaigning then, you know, as an aspirant for presidency. And one thing he kept mentioning about how Nigeria can change is from us.
Yes.
To anywhere he goes to campaigning, he will give you a responsibility as a Nigerian. So he actually emphasized on the fact of disposing things properly and then contributing to the fact that
is the least. We're not saying you should stop terrorism.
Go on Facebook.
We're not telling you to take a rifle out. Like, that's the least. When you meet a traffic light, stop.
About security.
It doesn't come. It doesn't. What else?
That's a very good one.
Yeah. So the moment we begin to do all these things, we can now even have the right to demand people at the top.
Are you familiar with geopolitics?
Just a bit.
Just a bit,
yes,
right?
Just a bit.
Yeah, because you know, with my understanding with that, you know, when nations sometimes will have a say on their own resources, their own values and things they have, you understand, you have to bow to the
external pressure.
Do you understand? The United Nations, the bodies of.
So when you say nations that don't have control over their resources, what do you mean?
So sometimes maybe we need to produce our own oil, or let's say our own car, for instance. Let me take Innoson. You know, Innoson should have gone further than that. Very well. But there's Toyota, there's this alliance between countries that Alpha, this is the thing we are supplying your nation. If in any way you go against it, or you are selling your own product, we will cut ties with you. If we are supplying some things for you, or maybe another thing entirely, maybe in fashion or whatever, we might not give you again. Do you understand? Because you are praising what we can supply to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So sometimes we might not be able to explore or freely do what we have naturally because of the influence of other countries. Do you get what I'm saying? Like China and all. Even if you have our own, maybe let's say uranium or polonium. Do you get what I'm saying? To make atomic bombs or to make this thing for our own defense, you can't do that. That's part of the things that happened with United States, Israel and Iraq then, part of the things because they were doing some kind of things, they were building some kind of elements, some kind of bombs for themselves, you understand, for their protection. Meanwhile, they've been warned, Alpha, I don't know if you do this thing. For the fact that you're having it naturally in your own country, you can't do all of these things. So, it's cause war and all of those things like that. But let's keep it with politics here, because we talk about politics.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and say
That's
it.
but let me just speak to what you said just very briefly.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't agree that anybody will ever be in a position where they don't have a choice.
You mean country?
Anybody, both as a country, as an individual. Now, let me explain that. Choice is the ability to take a decision, right? As long as you are saying willing, yes. As long as you are saying, unless like something has gone wrong, do you understand? Everybody has that. Every nation has that. Even though somebody points a gun at your head, for example, and say, do this. You doing that, you cannot tell somebody that you did not have a choice. The question is, to die is a choice. You are the only one that is thinking that is not a choice. But to die is actually a choice.
Okay.
If you look at Iran, and all the things that are happening, it shows that everybody has a choice. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All things that are happening, be damned. We are going to build our own. Whether the US says so or not, we are a sovereign nation. So the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes when powers come, and it's one of the things that all these power blogs do, they try to take away that choice. They try to take away or introduce the illusion that there is no choice. If you do this, we will withdraw support. Yes. But the question is that withdrawing support and staying to build our country is also a choice. People forget that the United States was colonized. Britain colonized the US.
Yeah, actually.
Do you get it? Mm. They rejected them so much. Like they fought against it so much that till today it's still causing confusion in English language. Anything you hear in US English, UK English, it was born out of rejecting colonialism. They imposed a language on US, just like we were imposed English language. US, ordinarily we say, there's no choice, our people have started speaking it. There's nothing we can do. US began to intentionally change some words. Shorts, knicker, intentionally to show you that we will not still take this on. So sometimes I just wonder, a lot, like again, it also boils down to, people just going back to history. And sometimes when I see US trying to bully other countries, it pains me because they know what it means to be infiltrated. Do you understand? Why are you doing it to somebody else?
Yeah, so, it's a wrong thing on their part. Do you get what I'm saying, right? But I don't know. To me, I feel sometimes it's unavoidable. And when you try to stand on your right, it's expensive.
Yes, it is.
Very expensive and costly. And when we are talking about the death of a nation or the natural resources, it's sometimes it can take you maybe a century before you can recover back. That is expensive.
True.
So, it could be very expensive. Do you understand? Sometimes costly if you don't align with whatever it is there. And for the fact that maybe we are colonized by a country, in a way, we are subjected to them. Do you understand? So, if every country tries to make their own rule, try to make their own, this is how we do it, this is how we do it, there will be unity. And the body called UN will be non-existing or perhaps ineffective. Do you understand? So I feel there should be more work. I know what.
So like if you even start talking about UN now, like
it's another
anybody that understands international relations will just be like, if you are talking about symbol of unity in the world, UN is not.
Are you serious? Will you say they are ineffective or insignificant?
It's run by the US now.
So we say it's run by the US. Is it because we have the sites in USA?
So Karl Marx said that the economy is the substructure that controls the superstructure. Let me break that down.
Please do.
What that means is that anywhere there's economic power, that is where power lies. Every other thing is jamboree. Every other
Economic
thing,
power.
yes.
Well, I feel economic power. Okay, go
Yes.
on.
So you look at the United Nations, who are the major
Gallant economically.
who are the major funders of United. When they say UN peacekeeping, who is going
Just like
who is
the major
pulling-
shareholder in a company.
Do you get what I'm saying? So if you understand that, you will know that anything that is not in the US interest, it will be very, very difficult for the UN to agree on it. It's just simple.
I think I
So
would agree with you.
yeah, so anybody who understands, if you are talking about togetherness as a country, cooperation, and all of those
Yeah.
things, I would even say the UN. Okay, because there are a lot of anybody that understands how that space works will just tell you that there are a lot of things that are not. I won't say some certain things, but everybody go and read.
Go and carry book and read.
Go and read. Go and read.